In this book, we sketch out a propaganda model and apply it to the performance of the mass media of the United States. This effort reflects our belief, based on many years of study on the workings of the media, that they serve to mobilize support for the special interests that dominate the state and private activity, and that their choices, emphases, and omissions can often be understood best, and sometimes with striking clarity and insight, by analyzing them in such terms. Perhaps this is an obvious point, but the democratic postulate is that the media are independent and committed to discovering and reporting the truth, and that they do not merely reflect the world as powerful groups wish it to be perceived. Leaders of the media claim that their news choices rest on unbiased, professional, and objective criteria, and they have support for this contention in the intellectual community. If, however, the powerful are able to fix these premises of discourse, to decide what the general populace is allowed to see, hear, and think about, and to manage public opinion by regular propaganda campaigns, the standard view of how the system works is at serious odds with reality. The special importance of propaganda in what Walter Lippmann referred to as the manufacture of consent has long been recognized by writers on public opinion, propaganda, and the political requirements of social order. Lippmann himself, writing in the early 1920s, claimed that propaganda had already become a regular organ of popular government and was steadily increasing in sophistication and importance. We do not contend that this is all the mass media do, but we believe the propaganda function to be a very important aspect of their overall service. In the first chapter, we spell out a propaganda model, which describes the forces that cause the mass media to play a propaganda role, the processes whereby they mobilize bias, and the patterns of news choices that ensue. In the succeeding chapters, we try to demonstrate the applicability of the propaganda model to the actual performance of the media. Institutional critiques, such as we present in this book, are commonly dismissed by establishment commentators as conspiracy theories, but this is merely an evasion. We do not use any kind of conspiracy hypothesis to explain mass media performance. In fact, our treatment is much closer to a free market analysis, with the results largely an outcome of the workings of market forces. Most biased choices in the media arise from the pre-selection of right-thinking people, internalized preconceptions, and the adaptation of personnel to the constraints of ownership, organization, market, and political power. Censorship is largely self-censorship by reporters and commentators who adjust to the realities of source and media organizational requirements, and by people at higher levels within media organizations who are chosen to implement and have usually internalized the constraints imposed by proprietary and other market and governmental centers of power.